Hi everyone, welcome back to the Change Nerd channel. We are here today with Stacy Mulligan, DiSC facilitator, maven extraordinaire. This is part 3 of our series on DiSC and change. We've talked about the D. Be sure to click over and see that video. We've talked about the I. In this session, we're going to talk about the S, who shares the people commonality with the I, but as we'll learn here in a moment when we talk about change, they have some drastic differences from the D. Yeah, and for the S's out there, we should celebrate. This is going to be okay. This session's going to be...
You're going to be all right.
You're going to be all right. Yep. Everyone is going to be great when it's over. Everyone's going to be involved. I have S tendencies on my profile too, which has shifted over time. In the past, I used to be an I on the edge of the ring. It's squarely in the I, quadrant 2. Not more D, not more S, I clear out. And over time, as life, and this is where you can also learn from Stacy, for workshops, classes, other things can teach you that you'll morph over time and move into a different area. And so now, because I'm in a very supportive role at work, I am in the IS wedge with shading in the D.
Yeah. Well, and you, in your personal life, your season was a support role in the last few years. And so you've had to lean into that. Yes. For sure.
Yeah. Viewers of the channel will know that both of my parents passed last year, and so there was a lot of compassionate service for them, a compassionate service for the family. I also got to flex my C as executor of the estate and having to keep track of things and do an enormous amount of tasks, which is not my comfort zone. But yes, the season did shift. It still is.
Yes.
It still is. I may never be the gregarious out on the edge of the ring I used to be. Maybe life and age do that.
I think it does, and seasons of life and just the way we embrace the world, right? And I mean, I started out as DI, so I basically hammered people over the head, but then said it was going to be fun. And then I shifted more to like ID, so I was more like, hey, this is going to be fun, and just hit not that hard, right?
Yeah.
But over time and through divorce and through remarriage and through children and through the businesses that I've had, I've shifted way over to I and S. So my whole world is driven by people and relationships. That's the forefront. This is going to be fun and we're going to be okay.
Yeah.
Right. I've done that in my real estate business. It's so stressful for people. It's going to be okay. Right. And I do it now in everything I do. So in DiSC training, you know, hey, you want coaching? You want to embrace some change, right? You want some growth? It's not going to be easy. But if I'm talking to an S, hey, you can do it. And it's going to make everyone's lives around you better. That's what they care about. They don't care in what's in it for them. It's how is it going to help the people around me? It's the team effort. They're Captain America.
Yeah, they're Captain America. They are the stability helping. Except do not tell them at 4:45 that you're going to radically change their world at 8 o'clock the next morning. Living in corporate America as long as I have seen that happen so many times. For whatever reason or another, the communication didn't get out, or somebody didn't think about it, or a D or an I had a great idea, and now we're going to do it differently in the morning.
That's it.
But why does that cause such disruption for the S?
So the S is driven by steadiness. And what's steadiness? This. If you start doing this, S needs a little bit of time. And when I say a little bit of time, sometimes I mean a lot of time to work through the process. Whereas D's or I's, let's change that. Okay. You know, D's say change it and I's go, yeah, okay. And S's say, whoa, wait a minute. What do you mean it's 4:45, right? So their biggest fear is loss of security. And so security isn't just keeping your job. Security is, I am comfortable in what I'm doing. I am comfortable in the process. I am comfortable here. I'm comfortable in my skin. You start messing with all of that and they retreat. They can't do it, you know, and they just need a longer time to process. Process is one of their keywords. They put the systems and the processes together. You put a monkey wrench in their system or process, it's a literal monkey wrench for them.
Yeah.
Right? So, yeah, that's no bueno to tell them at 4:45. They will not sleep that night.
No.
They won't sleep. Why? They'll be thinking about how is this change going to affect everyone else? Yeah.
and how it knocks them off their rocker. They may not necessarily be as vocal as a D or an I about how it disrupted them, but we always joke that, when they change Costco, I don't know how S's deal with Costco when they change it around, and C's for that matter too, because you walk in and it's not the same. You're like, wait a second, this used to be where the batteries are. Now the batteries aren't here. These are, wait, where?
Right.
And then how does that?
Yeah.
It shows up every day.
It does. It is. It's everywhere. It's just like that, because the I's will walk in and say, oh, I never saw this before. And the S's say, but this is where, the cheese used to be. Why are there plants here?
Yeah. And where is my cheese?
And where's
the
my
cheese go?
cheese?
Yeah,
right? My order of shopping has now been disrupted and messes with them. It's upsetting, actually. It's not just like, well, look at what happened. It's upsetting. So,
will they be vocal about their disruption? If an S is slighted, doesn't like the way things have changed out, are they going to tell anybody about it?
So I think they quietly tell people, certain trusted people, because they're relationship based, they're relationship driven. But if you push an S beyond their limit, like push, 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 one final push, D will come out and they will say, oh no, I am not putting up with this anymore. I am not standing for that, right? And then they'll be like, I'm sorry that I was loud and all. But you can't push them forever.
Yeah.
They will break.
Yeah.
And they will lose everything that they have, which is patience, kindness, compassion, right? All that'll go out the window. And they'll be like, oh, I don't think so.
And you can't make the assumption they're going to come back either.
No.
Because I have seen S's literally never go to a place again after the restaurant made them upset, or the business did too many changes and didn't tell them about it, or why is the menu not the same? My favorite thing is gone. Those types of disruptions, they just don't ever.
They're done.
Yeah.
They're done.
Yeah. And I think people incorrectly assume that S's will always be there. And they'll just deal with it, and they won't be happy, but they'll deal with it. And so I appreciate you bringing up that point that no.
Oh yeah, it just depends on how long it takes.
Yeah.
But they will break eventually if you continue to push them without any kind of nurturing, any kind of reassurance. They need reassurance that everything's going to be okay.
In your experience, why do people not give that reassurance as often as they should?
Well, they're probably not wired that way. Right? Since I'm an IS, I lead with, yeah, this is going to be great. And then I say, but everything's going to be okay.
Yeah.
And no one's going to get hurt.
Yeah.
But D is never going to say that, because D's like, well, why would anybody get hurt? This is about a task. This is about a job. People have nothing to do with it. Right?
And people really do have everything to do with it. Yeah.
Right. So they, you can push them, but then they're done. Yeah. But I think when you understand where people are coming from, and 69% of the population is S. So that's almost everybody, isn't it? So just assume when you and I are walking around, and now of course we're IS, but we need to remember that if we're in the room with people, more than likely they're S. Yeah. If you're at a public event, like a fun thing, the C's are at home because there's too many people there. So more than likely, you're not going to run into C. But, when you do talk to S, you want to actually ask them about people first. Hey, how's the family? I heard that your son made the team. That's wonderful. Then you can hit them in the head with, and now we're going to do it like this. But if you just say, now we're going to do it like this, they're like, they feel like violated. They feel unappreciated. They feel unsupported. And they don't like that.
Yeah.
And, you're going to lose.
Yeah. What tools, so I know you do workshops and things around this. What tools do you have that help people? Is there an assessment that they take that helps them understand where they fall and then gives them some details about it? Tell us more about that.
Yeah, so you can take a DiSC assessment. I'm certified through the John Maxwell program. So I use their DiSC report, and it's a good 30 pages long. So depending on your DiSC style, you're going to read it or not. But what it does is it doesn't just tell you, hey, you're right here, you're high I. It gives you 3 different graphs. It tells you, hey, this is where I think I need to be in public, like your representative. This is your representative that you're sending out. And if your representative is different than the way you're actually wired, you could be exhausted every day, right? If you're this is perfect for jobs. If you're applying for, let's say you're applying for a salesperson job, right? And you are full on accountant mode, right? That's the way your brain operates. You're not necessarily going to do well.
Yeah.
Because you're trying to be something you're not, like you're forcing it. And likewise, if you're high I, don't apply for that accountant job. You have to sit and look at numbers all day alone, right? Are you getting like, oh, don't make me do that?
It's twitch. It's making, because I sometimes I have to do that. At the end of the day, I'm like, wait a second, why am I so tired? I didn't think to sit at my desk, but I was doing data work all day.
Right. You didn't get, there's a great book called How Full Is Your Bucket? And it's about feeding into other people. And just by adjusting the way you talk to somebody can feed into their bucket instead of emptying it. When you go up to somebody and say, we're going to change this now, and you say that to a D, they go, okay, great. I'm in charge of that, though.
Yes.
So they say, you can be in charge of this, but I'm in charge of that. And, but if you say that to an S, we're going to change this right now. You've emptied their bucket. And if you continue to empty somebody's bucket, again, they either, lose it or they leave.
Yeah.
And they will leave. They will leave when they don't feel appreciated. And so.
And that is not going to help your change if you're wanting to do something and they either completely disengage, or I have also found some S's will provide some passive friction. They're not necessarily super vocal about it, but they may drag their feet in embracing the change and getting on board with it because it disrupted them too much. And so they're still going to get to it in their own time, even though you are pushing them and you want them to embrace it yesterday.
Right.
I'll get there when I get there.
Here's the thing. You can't push them, but they need some direction.
Yeah.
So you have to know the difference, right? Are you pushing them? Are you pressing their buttons? Or are you giving them the kind of permission to move forward?
Yeah.
Hey, we're all going to move forward in this. It's going to be tough, but if we put our heads together, right, team effort, it's going to all work out and everybody is going to be happier in the end.
Yeah.
That's how you get an S on board.
Yeah.
Not with, we're changing this, and if you don't change it, it's my way or the highway.
Right.
They'll be like, eventually it'll be the highway for them. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
or you.
Right. D's love S's because D's say, here's what needs to be done. And S's say, I have the process and the systems for that. But if there's too much friction, then, they're not going to do it.
No.
But as long as they feel appreciated and not overlooked, right, they're going to do it. They're going to do it. And S's are great. They talk slower. You recognize them because they're not usually the first one to talk, but they'll talk to you if you walk up to them and if you start talking about people. If you start talking about details and facts, or maybe just yourself and how you've done all these wonderful things, they'll listen, they'll smile, they'll nod. But they're not engaging, right? They want something more meaningful.
So final thoughts. If you're an S and you're thinking about change, what's one thing you should celebrate and what's one thing you should be mindful of?
So I would say absolutely celebrate the fact that you are warriors at systems and processes. I mean, things just don't get done without you. Don't. So lean into that process and you're so good at it. But maybe leaning into not being so afraid of making a change, because that is the one thing that will put them over the edge. And so because they're so into systems and processes, when something comes in that requires a change, they need to go through their system. And sometimes the system is too long. So for all you S's out there, this is straight from an I. Just jump. You'll be okay.
Yeah.
You'll figure out the process later. You can do it. You can do it. And everybody will be happier in the end.
Yeah, they will.
They
it doesn't
really
look
will.
At in the beginning. It's scary.
Right.
It's unknown. I really value S's because they bring that stability that can be lacking in urgency, or we got to do this, and not necessarily driven by a D or an I or a C, but just the world and life. Yes, absolutely. So that harmony and stability that they bring is greatly needed for them. If people want to learn more, where can they find you?
They can find me on the World Wide Web. Are we still calling it that? Yes, thestacymulligan.com. So you can find me on TikTok and everywhere else.
Great. Yeah, there's lots of great information out there, workshops, videos, Watch her TikTok videos on things like what each of the styles look like when they fire somebody or when they throw a party or all sorts of great things. You'll be able to relate for sure. So thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's been fun.
All right.
It's been nice.
It's been nice.
It's been pleasant and harmonious.
Always. Yes. Great.